Hey guys, welcome to my channel if you're new and welcome back if you're returning. My name is Maelan and I make beauty and lifestyle and bullet journal videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you're new to my channel, be sure to press that subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified whenever I post a new video. Today's video is a book recommendations video because a lot of y'all wanted it a couple months back and I'm now going to do it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm in AP English classes, so I get to read a lot, and most of the time I don't like to read most of those books, but a lot of times I do like some of the books, and I pick out a lot of the books that I do read, and I like a lot of them, but some of them I don't really like, and I've not gotten to read all the books that I want to. So I have 7 books that I enjoyed a lot, and I'm going to kind of give a little short summary of what it's about, and the picture of the book will kind of be right here. So the first book is We Were Liars, and this book is about a group of friends. Well, 3 are cousins and 1 is a friend of one of the cousins, and they live in Massachusetts, and they own a bunch of beach houses near, I want to say, Cape Cod. And they get in a whole bunch of shenanigans and stuff, and it's a very interesting book, and one of my favorite quotes from the book is, "I suffer from migraines, I don't suffer from fools," and I literally can relate 5,000%. The next book is Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac, and this book is about a girl who she is dating one guy, and then she's on yearbook committee, and one winter day, her friend and her have they kind of get an argument of who needs to go get the camera, and then she falls down the stairs and hits her head, and then she starts suffering from amnesia, and she has to go through a whole path of events and to figure out how to get her memory back, and she has to relearn who people are, and it's so interesting. The next book is what I would say a lot of people know of. It's known to be a classic, Fahrenheit 451. We had to read it in pre-AP English too. It was very interesting. The end of the book I was so upset about. So it's basically a book about the fight. If you've never heard of it, didn't watch the movie or any of that, it's a book about a firefighter, but it's a different type of firefighter. Back then, or well, in the future, because it's a dystopian novel. In the future, firefighters don't put out fires, they set fires, because reading should not be allowed or whatever. And it's really interesting reading it, and I give it 4 out of 5. It was really good. The next book is This Is Where It Ends. The book is about a school shooting that happens, and it's written in the point of view of 4 people: the shooter's sister, the shooter's sister's girlfriend, the girlfriend's brother, and the shooter's ex-girlfriend, and it's super interesting and really sad at the same time. The next book is Love and Gelato, which is such a cute book, and this girl, she ends up moving to Italy to her father's house, and she it's she meets a bunch of people, and she meets this guy, and she's kind of following in her mother's footsteps, and it's just so cute. Wow. Next book is To All the Boys I Loved Before, which I don't know, I have not read it in a really long time, but I do remember reading it and really enjoying it. And it's about this girl who I cannot remember the name. This girl, she goes through a bunch of crushes, and the way she kind of gets over said crushes is she writes a letter to them, but she just puts them up and out of the way, and then one day all of the letters get sent out somehow, and so it's just all of her crushes figured out that she liked them all at the exact same time, and most of them she does not like anymore, and it's super interesting. So the next book is kind of controversial, but it's my favorite book of all time ever. 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. everyone knows it because of the TV show, but the book is so much better than the TV show, and if you've not watched the show yet and you have not read it either, I totally recommend reading the book first, because it's like you get to really create the characters in your own head, and it's like, I just really enjoy that book, and a lot of it is totally different from the show. So even if you didn't like the show, you might actually like the book, but it's kind of a hit or miss. It was a really nice book, and it was really touching, and I think the first time I read it was in 6th grade. And if you are living under a rock for the past, I want to say maybe 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, something like that. 10 years, basically the book is about a girl named Hannah Baker who commits suicide, and she sends out a whole bunch of cassette tapes to 13 people who caused her to want to take her life. And one of her classmates, Clay Jensen, receives those tapes, and he used to have a huge crush on her, and he goes through the entire night listening to those cassette tapes and following her every step. She's like, oh, go to Rosie's Diner, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go there, and then he goes there. But in the show, he took forever to get through the tapes, but in the book, he goes through the entire thing in one night, and he kind of then tries to change, but there isn't, I don't want to say there is much character development in the book, but obviously in the show you can see character development and how her suicide has impacted all of these people. But it was so interesting. And the last book, I know I said there were 7 books, but then I thought of a book, so it's one of those hideous books where the mother dies. At least I think that's what it's called. And it's in the style of poetry almost, and it's super cool, but it's also a little sad. It's not sad, but it's sad, you know? So this girl, her mother ends up dying. That happens at the beginning of the book. That's not even a spoiler or anything. So her mother ends up dying, and she has to move in with her father, who is a famous actor, and he lives in California, and she has to fly from Massachusetts, leave behind her best friend and her boyfriend, fly all the way to California to live with him, and she wants nothing to do with him because she doesn't realize how or why her parents divorced, and after her mother died, she just did not want anything to do with anyone except for her boyfriend and best friend. But she was kind of forced to go to California. Her aunt asked if she wanted to live with her, and she's like, I kind of want to live with you, but her aunt lived in one of those apartments that is just a living room with the smallest bedroom ever and a little bathroom. So she's like, I'm not going to be a burden to her, so I'm just not going to move in with her. And so she kind of sucks it up, but then she learns to really love her father, and she understands why they divorced, and it's just such an interesting book. So those were some book recommendations. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and if you want another one, let me know down below, and maybe another one will come out soon when I read more books. But anyways, I love y'all. Bye bye.